are joined by Maggie Duncan this segment, who is a returning finalist. You were here last year.
Yes, I was. Third time is a charm.
And welcome back. So let's refresh the memory of our screaming mob here. What do you do when you're not auditioning for radio jobs?
I'm actually a middle school drama teacher.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Do you get all the kids in black?
Well, yeah,
all the pasty gangsters in black turtlenecks year round?
No,
I think they're called hipsters.
All my kids are hipsters, though. They're cool.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I have some awesome kids.
I don't know about that.
Tomorrow's actually the first day
You
of
obviously
school.
don't hang out with them. You hung out with a hipster for any length of time, you'll know they're not all right.
So what does the past year look like? What motivated you to jump back in the pool and try the rock the mic thing?
Well, you know, like I said, third time's a charm. I could not do any worse than I did last year when I was in here. So
I'm
I've got
gonna agree
only
with you.
I know I was bad. I've got no.
I'm just going to agree with you.
Hey, I am man enough to admit that I did
that.
really bad.
She's a man
last
of
year.
a woman there.
Are we going to have some sort of redemption this time where you get to pick a new Super Bowl
Oh my gosh,
and who's going to win the SEC this time around again?
And
we're going to try that again? Did you make notes on that?
And
I have my notes. I have my notes
to be
this year.
fair, a matter of housekeeping, the Super Bowl and the National Championship of College Football are mutually exclusive. There is
Wait,
no
what?
You can't win both.
Okay, well this
So-
is new
Well,
to
in my
me.
world.
So,
In Maggie's world, no doubt about it. So we opened the show with, admittedly, a little bit of hyperbole regarding the Houston
little.
Texans. They might not go to the Super Bowl, but they're definitely in the hyperbole right now after the stunning and dramatic win last night at Denver, 18-17 over the hated Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. So what'd you think of the? Did you catch any of it last night?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Whose jersey are you wearing this morning?
Well, I'm wearing my
D'Amico?
vintage, yes, my vintage D'Amico Ryan's jersey.
I
Yes.
think that's called a throwback.
Well, it was.
We don't do vintage.
It's also a clearance item at this point,
It was the only thing I had in my closet that wasn't wrinkled. Okay.
or had Sooners on it.
Oh, now be nice.
Am I right?
Be nice to my Sooners. I was a year early on that prediction.
So what do you think about that game last night? And honestly, you do have those Texans on the edge of the ledge who just think that's this is the precursor to a championship run.
Everyone needs to slow their roll, okay? Because we still don't have a quarterback. I'm sorry, but I think that's what we're missing. I really think that we're missing a quarterback to make this a more cohesive team. If we want to make a playoff run this year, we've got to address the problems that we have. You know, we made a great pick with Clowney, but at the same time, I feel that we kind of wasted our first pick.
So
Really?
who would you have taken
Who would you
instead?
have taken first?
Bortles.
Really?
I would. I just, in my opinion, and I'm the fantasy person who always drafts my quarterback first. The quarterback, in my opinion, is the backbone of the team.
How many fantasy wins do you have?
I was number 2 last year. Thank you very much.
How many
That's not a win.
How many leagues are you in?
That's not a
This year I'm
win.
in 3.
You won second place?
I got second place last year. Yes, I did. Thank you.
Why? What?
I always draft
Second
my
place
quarterback.
isn't winning. Why are you people getting so excited over second
I still
place?
beat 8 other people
Second
who
place
thought they knew more than
is
me. So
first
bam.
loser.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I bet the second place Rock the Mic last year was having a great time.
Hey,
I
now.
just wanted to throw that in there.
What's up, Mad Boy?
Since I'm
How you
almost
doing?
no longer the Rock the Mic champ, I'm grasping.
Oh, you have another week, sir.
Do I? Oh, I have one more week. Sweet.
So getting back, you would have taken Bortles over
I would have.
Clowney.
I think that we've put a lot of emphasis in recent years on our defense, which is great, and I think that we've come a long way. But we don't have a quarterback. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, we moved up and down the field okay last night, but it was once again, it's a preseason game. It's not a W that's going to count. And I honestly think we should have put the time, the effort, and the money into getting the quarterback.
Well, given the situation that it is, obviously Fitzpatrick was signed to be the starter. The competition is really between Keenum and Tom Savage for that second slot. So do you think Savage pulls ahead of Case after last night? What do you think?
Well, I know that the community, quote unquote, is behind more like Case Keenum, hometown boy type thing, but I'm a numbers kind of person. I like to see who's producing on the field, and last night it was Savage.
It was definitely Savage, at least in that final go-round. Just a couple of numbers here. Fitzy, 10 for 17, no Fitz magic last night, no touchdowns, no picks. None of the 3 Texans QBs threw a pick last night. It's the first time.
That's refreshing.
First time in forever, am I right?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Keenum 11 of 18, 74 yards. Tom Savage 5 of 6 for 68 and a touchdown and a 153.5.
One of the first things I noticed in the first half that kind of, I'm not gonna say got me excited, but it was a breath of fresh air to see from a Texans team on offense. Was there was a couple of times where the pocket collapsed on Fitzpatrick, and he was able to move himself out of the pocket, get a scramble going, and look downfield and make a pass. Last year, that would have been a sack both times that it happened.
Absolutely.
Because the fainting goat would have just fell down.
The glacial
And that
Matt
would've-
Shaw.
Yeah, and that was like, okay, this is a good sign. This is, he's not the most mobile quarterback, but he can move and he can recognize the pressure in time to be able to get out of the
Okay,
pocket.
he's
So that's good.
progress. He's progress, but he's not the answer.
I would even venture to say, not as a full body of work, but if you were to look at the quarterback situation last year from your starter, and the quarterback situation going into this year, I actually think the Texans are probably
Better.
Well, it couldn't have been any
overall.
worse. It couldn't have been any
Well,
worse
going
than
into
last year.
going into the season.
Going into last year, I wouldn't have taken Matt Schaub, or I would have taken Matt Schaub 100 times out of 100 over Ryan Fitzpatrick. Going into this year, seeing what Fitzpatrick can do, he's more mobile. He can still look downfield. He can still make passes. He's gonna make some bonehead plays. He's gonna lose almost as many games as he's gonna win, but Matt Schaub lost way more games than he won last year. So I really do think this team has improved at that position, but I don't think it's a long-term solution, obviously.
Right. Do you think it's going to be enough to give us somewhat of a winning season to the Texans?
When we were doing our initial picks, I think we had them at 5 or 6 wins.
After the draft, I think it dropped one.
Yeah. But I think, honestly, looking at it, I think if you can get all the starters back and they can be healthy,
No, we gotta keep them healthy this year.
I think this team could potentially win 7 or 8 games. Does that make them a winning team? No. To me, the whole key in this is not going to necessarily be your quarterback play. It's going to be your secondary play. If the secondary can hold up, we know that the middle of the field on the defense is fine. And offense, you're going to be able to run the ball with Arian Foster. You've got 2 capable backups. You've got a wide receiver core that I think is maturing. You've got a quarterback that's not going to get sacked every time the pocket collapses. So I think overall there's hope for this team. After watching these first 3 games, my biggest concern at this point still is their secondary.
But see, what I'm hearing though is you've got a lot of, if this happens, the Texans will do this. If this happens, which is, that's sports, that's professional sports, that's football. But what we're looking at right now is the Texans have a lot of question marks and what ifs and things like that I really think that could have been addressed a lot better in the offseason. We wouldn't be standing here with so many question marks. Maybe addressing, I keep saying I know I'm going to get in big trouble for that. I want to address that for a second, though. I am a Houston Texans fan. And that's why I buy the jerseys. That's why I go to the games. That's why I cheer for them. Because to me, it is a we. And that's why I'm so passionate about the Texans. And I know I'm going to get in big trouble for this from those two. I know I am. But I keep slipping and saying we. But if I have to tell you why, it's because they're my heart. The Texans are my heart. I've never had a hometown team to root for in the NFL. I was excited when I moved down here and the team was brought back. So that's my take on the we business.
You're in a pro team, but you're an Oklahoma fan.
Right, but this is my first pro team I've been able to support because I live here now. I've been here since '98, so be nice. So anyway, back to my statement about what you were saying. We have all these different areas that need to be addressed. I would feel more comfortable going into the season if the Texans had maybe one major area they need to address versus so many, and especially at the quarterback position.
So I guess I disagree. I mean, you've got injury issues.
That's a big one.
But you can't really address an injury issue.
No, I understand that, but
they
they
have
got
to
to
stay
plan
healthy.
for that, though.
So your linebacking core with Cushing back, you're okay. You've added Clowney to the defensive line. To me, the 2 biggest issues is having an above average starter quarterback and getting better in the secondary. Everywhere else, I mean, where are they not as good as they were last year? With it, I mean, your offensive line, to me, and I was the biggest critic of the offensive line last year on this show, but they're better. I mean,
But I'm going to keep going back to
even looks better this year.
The thing, you may have a line, but the line does you no good if you don't have a quarterback.
You all can continue this during the break. It's the Barry and Maggie Show on ESPN 97.5. Maggie Duncan, your time is up. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was fun.
And thanks, good job. And thanks for manning up and going for the second round.
Yes.
So good for you.
Go Sooners.
Welcome to the finals.
I had to throw that in there.
Michael, who's next on the chopping block?
I really want to do this gladiator style. Don't say their name. Say, bring me. No, I don't. Just do it. Just do it.
Next victim.
Bring us Andrew Bryant.
Bring me Andrew Bryant.
Thumbs down. Ooh.
Yeah, I've already.
Gosh.
The Lions are out.
Bring a tarp.
No. Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. I had a lot of fun.
Well, thank you, Maggie.
Awesome
When we
job.
come
Good
back,
times, good times.
more Texans talk, and we're joined by Rock the Mic finalist Andrew Bryant, the other side of the break. This is Houston Game Day on ESPN 97.5. Interesting. I think it's a